Hey,
We're live on Facebook.
you're live on Facebook, guys. So, one more thing. Good. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this special edition of the Alumni Talk. I am Clotaire. I am the VP Organizational Development of AIESEC Alumni Middle East and Africa. And today we have a special guest that I will introduce very soon and leave him the floor to introduce himself. But before we reach to that, please guys, mute your microphone during the speech. At the end, you will have the possibility to on your microphone and ask questions. So technically, I will explain you how it's going to go, the talk. I'm going to briefly introduce AIESEC Alumni Africa and the Alumni Talk. And then later I will give the floor to the main speaker of the day. And then when the speaker finish, we will have a question and answer. And then you will we will send you a link to fill a survey. So this is how our talk is going to be managed today. The purpose of this is not to have 1 hour speak because it's going to occupy all your evening. The purpose of this is to share a relevant topic that is going to help you to understand certain aspects that we want to develop. So the today's topic is leadership for a new age and readiness for the challenge of our time. So probably you can already understand what is all going about, but I will not permit you to speak. I will just give the floor at time to the speaker, to the main speaker. So this alumni talk is an initiative of the regional bureau of AIESEC Alumni Middle East and Africa, as I was saying. And the main purpose is to share knowledge with participants. So it's an opportunity for the speaker to get connect with people all around the world. And also it's an opportunity for participants to get to know about the speaker, to get to know about his AIESEC experience, and also to get to know about his business, and also to meet with other people and get in touch with and get introduced to certain topic that probably in our daily life we don't access, no? So we are going to be managing to have 1 talk per month during the year. So it's going to be around 12 talk, but we are working also to have a certain aspect of the alumni talk that is going to be, we hope that you will be liking it. So probably in the month of February, we'll be communicating you some improvement that we are going to make on this. Alumni talk is not new because it is run all over the world by AIESEC International, by other regional network, by national alumni entities. So it is not something new for many of you. So, but it is new for us at the regional bureau because in 2020 we didn't run it that much. But this year we are starting very well the year, and we can ensure you that we are going to correct all these mistakes. So, well, I will just introduce now our guest speaker. Many of you might know him already, Adonis TELLA DELIS. This guy is a boss, and he will introduce himself to us. But what I can say about him is that we knew each other in 2009, something like this, and we were exchanging emails. I was working on project and exchange in Cameroon, and he was in Benin, and we were just exchanging emails. And recently we got in touch because we were working at the regional office of AIESEC alumni, alumni Middle East and Africa. We never meet, but we are speaking almost every day as brothers. It's just for us to understand that AIESEC, because we all meet from AIESEC, AIESEC is giving a wide possibility to people to interact and work together even without meeting each other. This is the thing. This is the trick of AIESEC. And then I will give the floor to Adonis to introduce himself and take the control of this speech. I will be driving because I'm entering at work at 10 p.m. this night, so in less than 1 hour. So Adonis is going to be manage everything, and if I can catch up the end of the talk, then I will catch up. If not, I wish you a very good evening. So Adonis, I give you the floor.
Thanks so much, Clotaire. Good evening, everyone. My name is Adonis TELLA DELIS. I am a leadership and language consultant. I do provide coaching and leadership in entrepreneurship, and also a translator, interpreter, French, English, and Spanish. So I also have been a member of AIESEC before, both AIESEC in Ghana and AIESEC in Benin. Occupied the function of national president of AIESEC in Benin 2009-2010, and also chaired the subcommittee of ethics of AIESEC International back then. Of course, I'm a member of AIESEC Alumni Benin, member of the executive, vice president in charge of external relations. And since July 2020, I'm working with Clotaire as assistant VP for organizational development of AIESEC Alumni Middle East and Africa. Today, we are having the first session of a recurring event that will be held, as Clotaire said, I want to believe once a month. And the purpose is to have an opportunity for alumni to use their skills and share basically their mindset on different topics. And today I felt for the maiden edition to really address an issue of leadership for a new age, readiness for the challenges of our time. It is very difficult for us to discuss anything today without taking into account the new dispensation, the health pandemic that we have gone through for the past year and a little bit more, but also the fact that we are dealing with the need to realign our thoughts, to change our paradigm. And there's nothing better for a leader than the opportunity, no matter how difficult the situation is, the opportunity to change our mindsets, and help others to change their mindset. Key elements of effective leadership may have different theories about leadership, knowing that leadership is about influencing others towards making positive change and lasting impact. But if we consider leadership in terms of crisis, it is definitely the best opportunity for leaders to prove their mettle, to show what they are made of. Great leaders are always remembered for great crises they have helped organizations, societies, institutions manage. A great leader is not measured by how much he manages things well when things are peaceful, when things are quiet, when things are easy. Great leaders are always proven through what they are able to show as capability to navigate through the difficult waters of organizational life, social life, be it economically, politically. And what I am sharing today is just touched on what we should be thinking as the next approach. First of all, today, we are closer, even though we are farther apart. Why? Because today we have at least here 3 continents, 5, 10 countries already connected. What do we do in terms of maximizing the opportunities of cooperating together? Why do we think that everything has to be about social distancing, difficulties of life, economic difficulties because business is not moving as usual, when people have had opportunities of adapting to the new dispensation? So leadership for a new age and readiness for the challenges of our time simply means that we are supposed to think now outside the box more than before. Look at what our business processes are. What can we change to make sure that our business do not continue suffering from the difficulties of our environment, of our times? Because leadership is very much about proffering solutions to problems. Leadership is not just about being reactive, it's mostly about being proactive, identifying what the opportunities are embedded, in anything we are going through. And I think that for us as AIESEC alumni, as great startup leaders or industry leaders, young companies leaders, top companies leaders, it's about us being the solution to the new dispensation problems. First of all, if you look at 4 pillars of effective leadership, first of all is, of course, intellectual intelligence. Because when we look at the various forms of intelligence, the first one that comes to mind is about our ability to process information, provide knowledge, share knowledge, identify and analyze and providing new solutions. Of course, intellectually, we need to be balanced. It's not about having degrees, it's about our putting our brains to work. First of all, it's about us identifying the new sources of knowledge, identifying what new knowledge we can sell, what new knowledge we can promote for people to have a change of paradigm. But beyond intellectual intelligence, we should look at the ability beyond that to get to emotional intelligence, because intellectual intelligence gives you a very narrow mind to a narrow approach to life. First of all, if you go beyond intellectual intelligence, that is measured by your IQ, you move to emotional intelligence. And when we talk about emotional intelligence, it means that we're supposed to change our paradigm. If we have to be leaders to be trusted, we have to instill confidence. We have to inspire confidence in others. That begins by having a great control of our emotional balance. So emotional intelligence is about identifying our strengths and weaknesses, knowing how we operate in a way we are always able to give enough motivation to others. From there, we move to social intelligence. In terms of social intelligence, in anything we do, whether in family life, in business life, in social life, political life, anything we engage in, how we relate between others, ourselves and others is key, because we have the ability of providing enough incentive and motivation to others, identifying what others need from us, taking people by the hand, because in these great times, I say great times because you have great challenges, but also great opportunities. Remember, a leader doesn't look at problems. A leader looks at what opportunities are hidden, even hidden and embedded in any problem that come across. COVID-19 for us is an opportunity to have more interaction with Clotaire than I've had 10, 15 years ago. Because today, you get online, we have the ability of discussing issues that have to do with Africa, Middle East, and beyond, because we think that we are more connected than even before, even though we haven't met. So how do we then transpire this spirit of connection, lifelong connection, all-time connection, high-level connection to our daily life, business, AIESEC, anything we want to do, we have the ability of transforming that. Social intelligence about how we create a good rapport with others. But then the fourth type of intelligence is probably what we need most to talk about today. It's, of course, change management intelligence, ability to apprehend, adapt, and share the ability to others to adapt to change. Because one key element that will never change in life is, of course, change. Change is a constant. So how do we ensure that we drive change in our organization, that we drive change in our immediate environment? We have the key solution. The first solution that we offer the world is ourselves, because we have the ability of controlling the knowledge we acquire. We have the ability of controlling our emotions. We have the ability of expecting and creating the right expectation in others, but also we have the ability of driving the right change. Remember one thing, in anything we do, we have new paradigm that will keep on coming to our face. And today, more than before, innovation is required. Resilience is required. And leaders have to be people that are solution-oriented. in anything that we engage in, startups, normal business, established business, every single day since 2020, we know that things as before, business as usual is not working. Therefore, we open ourselves to building our knowledge base and opening ourselves to others. What others can be as input? What kind of online activities can we engage in? It's a real thing that we can discuss about, because remember, we are leaders. All we have done through AIESEC, through our education, through becoming great alumni, respected in our environment, in our countries and communities, this is the opportunity for us. We have the ability of providing motivation to others, having a great sense of communication for business development, communication to establish people in their convictions, to have people who have enough confidence from us because we inspire them. That is the essence of this alumni talk today, because we have the ability of definitely providing a new horizon for others. Remember, you can operate within red ocean when things are limited, resources are limited, capacities are limited, but you can look at the blue ocean where you may not have all the things known to you. You may have a lot of unknown, but you have the ability of projecting yourself to a higher level of exponential growth. This is what we are looking at. It's nothing just about theory. It's about us having a sense of building new alliances. Today, your business partner doesn't need to be your neighbor. Your business partner can be thousands of kilometers away from you. You have the ability to make it work. You can have board meetings that are held from different perspectives. Great multinationals have not met physically for months. They are still running their businesses because people set themselves targets and keep pushing towards achieving them. Our team management spirit and approach and strategy can change today. And this is a key element. We are the solution. We are the people who can make this new world work. It's a new age, whether we like it or not. Things will never be as before. Whether we have vaccines, whether we have a pandemic that is under control, today people have opened their eyes to new opportunities in this world. It is our definite ability to project ourselves beyond growth that matters. I will not monopolize the attention and the floor. I will be rather open to having a free-flowing discussion with input, questions and answers to make sure that we build a new world, whether it is social organization, business organization, political organization, because believe you me, we have a lot of AIESECers who are passionate about political international issues. Today is an opportunity that gives us the ability of providing new approaches, new flavor of ideas and innovation in any settings we have. And I think that this new dispensation, whether it's COVID-19, whether it's in the world order realigned, new decisions being made, new governance structures being implemented, we have a great opportunity of new growth. This is my key learning point, because we have a real capacity of growth through new forms of training. We can have access to knowledge that is very much remote from us, because now we have a lot of virtual activities. That means virtual acquisition of knowledge, not just acquisition, but also sharing of knowledge. It's definitely totally exponential. We have a sense of optimism that runs from the head down to the rest of the body. If we leaders have a consideration of life that is more positive, it will affect our organizations positively. If we have an approach to life that is less positive, more negative, more pessimistic, it will definitely run down from us to others, because we are leaders. Let us remember, it is our responsibility to build a new environment, a new age of business, of politics, of social life, and education. And the contribution of AIESEC and AIESEC alumni to education is enormous. We have always been people who invested in a new educational framework. Our ability to run AIESEC in campuses in Africa, in the world, that has always been revolutionary, having students learn about product management, product innovation, product development, is today amounting to a level where we can provide new solutions to new problems of our age. This is what I had to share, and I would like to go on to question and answers. Thank you very much. So anybody can take the floor. Just raise your hand, the device, and then we'll just give you the floor. And later I will share the survey before we can have a discussion. And you can also fill the survey for us. Are we together? Yes, Alex, you have the floor.
Yeah, hello everybody. Very good evening from Vienna, Austria. Dear Adonis, thank you very much for delivering the great keynote to us. My question to you is, how do you perceive it on a personal level? Like, leadership per se is not yet qualified. Leadership just is perfectly describing that there is some person taking initiative and going ahead. But whether that is qualified with the right set of values, especially in our AIESEC alumni and AIESEC community about the 6 core values, is not guaranteed at all. So if we take a look at the current situation where we see strong leadership on the global perspective, not necessarily every strong leader qualifies in the terms of leadership we would like to see. And I would just like to leave you with a very practical example. We just have seen 2 impeachments, and still there is no quiet coming to the US, because false kind of leadership is still acting behind the scenes and endangering our main ambition, which is peaceful. You know, it's endangering global peace and fulfillment of humankind's potential. And I think it's at the core of our organization to counteract and to go straight ahead with the right leading example of how leadership looks like. So how do you perceive ethical-based, correct leadership in your surroundings, in the touch points you're having, and how would you qualify where we stand on the global perspective? Thank you for giving me the time, Adonis.
Thanks, Alex. I appreciate your contribution and open question. Of course, the ethical leadership for an AIESEC alumni and AIESEC perspective, of course, we know that integrity, diversity, leadership, participation being enjoyed are all key values of ours. Now, the issue is today, no organization builds a lasting impact without having a concern and a focus on ethics. The interesting thing for me is that ethics is not just anything theoretical. We live our values, because it's not just knowing values, but living our values is even more important. And I think that we have something to share, something to teach others and provide others in terms of leadership. Is about walking our talks. In our communities today, we have people who distinguish themselves not just by technical performance and ability, but also ethical standards adherence. And I think that it is on a daily basis showing a good example, taking others by the hand and giving the right motivation and focus on building others that will help us. And I think that ethics runs through everything we do. Before, we used to consider ethics as just anything written on the corner of an office that, yes, you have to do this and not do that. But today, we have the ability of living our values, because through this new environment of business, this new age of communications, we're in touch with different communities. Now, if I look at the global stage, and especially with the US election as a standard, I want to believe that there were 2 issues that came up when we look at even the impeachment process. The mere fact that the president was impeached twice shows us that people at some point realized that even in the Republican setting, they were weary of how things were being run, because many of them lost re-election attempts because of disappointment with the presidential administration. But at the same time, there were 2 schools of thought. Do we further divide the country by engaging in impeachment just because we want to show that someone was that wrong, or we just move on? So there were 2 schools of thought: going through a successful impeachment of someone who was already at the end of his term, or trying to say, let's talk less about him, let's make him less popular, but just forget about him and build a new America. Some people were saying even at the beginning of the campaign, early in 2020, that Joe Biden had no agenda but to say, anything you think is wrong with America, come with me today, let's fix it. He didn't have a big plan, but just reuniting people and building a new America. It's a very divided country.
You're not taking mail anymore.
But people feel that we have the opportunity of building a
I
new
love
country.
you, baby. I will go back with you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's serious. Okay.
Hello, this is Alberto.
Yes. So I was about to give the floor to Alberto. Actually, I was about to give the floor to Alberto, so it came at the right time. Go ahead, Alberto. This is what I had to share basically on things that were brought up by Alex, and the discussion continues because it's a global platform. Go ahead, Alberto.
Hello, this is Alberto Sil from Mexico. I'm very happy to be here with you. Very interesting topic indeed. Thank you for the introduction and nice speech, Tella. And I would like to ask a question and ask for your opinion in the following matter. I fully agree that the new leadership that is necessary in this coming new era, it's all about adaptation, it's all about proposing solutions, about being creative. And of course, following also the lead of the question by Alex, our dear past president, it has to do a lot with ethics. The ethics have to change and have to recognize that something was wrong in the past. New leadership has to do with that also. And the question I have is, do you perceive that leadership in the private sector and leadership in the public sector are aligned? I have the perception that the private sector and the public sector have been very, very separate recently. And I think there is a risk, because if private sector and public sector do not align in the way they perceive the future and the world, it's very complicated to move society towards a common goal.
Thanks, Alberto. I think that sometimes what the real problem has been that, first of all, a school of thought will say private sector is efficient, public sector is bogus. That's ideology speaking. Others will say public sector has to do it all. And others will say private sector is only about profit and not about caring for people. The thing is, today, we need to understand that both sectors have to cooperate. Public sector doesn't produce. Public sector creates an environment, an enabling environment. And private sector is not that selfish of only thinking about profit, because you can see today that we have CSR, corporate social responsibility, that becomes the norm. So what we need to do is to have a lot of cooperation between public sector and private sector, because no single entity will make countries, communities, organizations, and societies change. What we need to understand is governance and ethics should be the best in any of the sectors. And each of them should know what is the best or strong point. For instance, if you are in political office, your focus is not profit, but making sure that the social goods is delivered upon, and that you create a good business environment, a good environment for business to thrive, and that will help the community. So what we need to do is to create more of real communication and interaction between private and public sector. There's no best approach, but the fact that we all sit down around the table and see what we can provide best. If private sector tries to do what public sector is best at, or private sector tries to do what private sector is best at, it's going to mess up the society. Let public sector not behave as a competitor to private sector. That's my first point. Public policy is about how we create the right environment, the right structure, tax incentives, social incentives, social interventions, making sure that people are well trained so that industry can thrive with the right talents. This is the responsibility of both entities. Public sector supervising and creating environment, and private sector delivering. I think that we have a unique thing as AIESECers, is that we work on real development of talent, if you look at AIESEC, that is available for public, private, or any social sector, because we have that open end and open-minded leadership. This is what will definitely deliver the goods, whether in private or public sector. But most of the time, we have that ideology blockage where people think that private sector is all about profits and public sector is not efficient. And the other idea, I will give you examples of people from a business environment who end up in public life. They don't always do that well. We looked at Berlusconi some years ago. We look at Donald Trump as well. Yeah, they may be good at running the economy, but running a country, running public sector is not just about running the economy. It's also about creating a very stable and confidence-building environment, a very stable and appeasing environment. That is why people who have a great sense of public duty and public policy engagement should perform and make public sector perform. Whilst people who are in the private sector, they build businesses to deliver goods and achieve results, but also think of giving back to society. That is why we can have a great and really encouraged and fulfilled society. Because at the end of the day, it comes back to us. All the things we do as AIESECers and alumni, leadership, integrity, diversity, is about peace and fulfillment of humankind potential. At the end of the day, that's what we come back to. Alberto, are you with me?
Thank you. Thank you very much for your thoughts.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks for sharing as well. Anybody wants to come online? Tene, Joachim, Rema, Jean, Caleb. Anybody wants to come in? Kwame, Luyanda, the floor is open. Yes, Tene. You have the floor.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Tene. Hear you.
Okay. Okay. My name is Tene. I'm from Cameroon, but my mentor was Clotaire.
Okay.
I will just present myself bravely. I've been in India from an exchange. I've been in Romania, Hungary, and now I'm living in United States, in Colorado.
Okay.
Now, when the debate starts, I hear about 3 points. You start to speak about leadership, ethic, you speak about private sector and public sector. That's the first point I want to let you know.
Yeah.
The world is corrupt, very corrupt. Even there in the United States where I'm living, there's a corrupt, there's a discrimination in the world. It's not even between black and black, even between the rich and the poor. I just want to tell you, first of all, what we are seeing happen in the world. Even in European Union, they are corrupt in Brussels. They do many things, but they are corrupt. The government are corrupt in the world. They do many things that the population don't agree. Even when you see what happened in the Greece, the crisis was not really, Germany sell a lot of gun and many things. I mean, many things is happening in the world. That I just want to, first of all, to bring what is really happening in the world. Even in Africa, today, the public sector are more rich, have more money. When you go to Africa, person working in the government have a lot of money, but they are not supposed it. It's the person who make business. But that is the first point happening in the world. And for me, to develop any strategy and leadership in that kind of environment, you need to be a fighter. You need to be a person who really have a vision, because it will be very difficult. When I come in United States, for example, I work in the company that was discriminated. I work for 3 months and I move on and I create my own company there. I register, I create an ALC for recycling company. I take personal work, it was not good, but I'm still creating something online that I was able to, the business was trying to grow. Though I was just like remind you, as the debate started, you were speaking about leadership, that the environment is more corrupt. There are many things that person are facing in the society today. Even when you see, I always like, I'm not too much interested in the politics because you need to be the change. If you just see what is happening, you cannot change anything. Though, I mean, as a leader, we just need like to create solution and try to do something great. If you just want to focus what happened in Spain, in United States, there are so many problems. But for us as a leader and AIESEC, we need to make a solution to change that issue. And also ethics is kind of very difficult, but it's possible.
Yeah.
That's what I just want to clarify. Though for me, I was having a really tough time, for example, in this country to start my business, even taking loan. For example, in this country, when you start a little bit business, the bank will give you a lot of debt. They will just push you. And me, I always avoid. Though I just want to share globally, like you were saying, private sector, leadership, and ethics. And that is one of the big issues now we are facing in the world. Corruption is everywhere. You want to do something great in Africa, even there in America, there's corruption that you cannot see. You understand my point?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, though it's kind of very tough. There's, I faced, when I start my company in the United States, I faced discrimination. I go to the bank, they didn't want to give me anything, even when I take a loan to have the first car to start to recycle my recycle company. And I was doing like a joke. I said that I don't want to work for any person because I'll be working from AIESEC. I said, I don't care. And I'll be able to make like 100,000 a year. I have a goal and a vision. I start, and maybe last year I just make 100. I said to the banker that I will make even 500. It was in my mind. We need to have this strong mindset, like you said in the beginning. The determination, the mindset, and the vision and the goal.
Okay, let's summarize it. Let's summarize it. I think your point is clear that a lot of challenges facing the world. And I think that what Alex and Alberto have said, it's just in that line. We are not saying that the world is in the best of shape. We're not saying that everything is rosy. But you see, I will say one thing, no matter how things look like, if we don't put it on ourselves to offer a new approach, if we don't put it on ourselves, because see, nothing's supposed to be easy, but our optimism and our positivity will give us more strength in the face of adversity. If we go in a mindset of defeat, anything that will come across our way will definitely finish us. That's the thing. So all that you said, there may be tough things you went through, but you didn't go through them with the opportunity, the idea of failing. Not at all. Totally to the contrary. You are trying to show that the world is not as easy as we would love to have it. But in any case, today, there's more knowledge, more cooperation, more understanding and sensitivity about ethics and the reality of corruption everywhere for us to be even more informed to build a new approach to anything we do, whether it's social life, economic life, business life, cultural life, or even political life. That's all we are saying, basically. Our approach becomes ascertained by a new form of leadership. Have access to greater knowledge, greater cooperation, greater perspectives that we can share from different continents, even here present. That is what a key learning should be. And our openness to the half a full part of the glass rather than the half empty part of the glass is all the trick. Hope you understand. We always think that difficulties are also an opportunity that is offered. If you look at the glass half full, our behavior will be determined by that full half that we are looking at. If you look at it half empty, then we'll walk in a way of that empty half. You understand what I'm saying? So that is what I think is the new leadership required is, first of all, a mindset approach. The mindset is changed automatically. See, General Eisenhower said, in the 50s and 60s, said, optimism runs very fast from the head down to the rest of the body. How a leader thinks will affect easily an organization, a community, an environment you operate in than anything. If your mindset is positive, you have a greater chance of fulfilling a mandate than if you look at it, oh, in any case, it's supposed to be difficult. So it's more difficult. So therefore I fail. Therefore I'm Exactly. That's my point. Yeah. That's my point.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, thanks. Okay. We are left with 15 minutes. I'm going to share the survey. And if anybody wants to take the floor is open. It's our community contribution. Nobody has a monopoly of the floor. I mean, go ahead. Anybody has the floor should go ahead. I'm about to share the survey in the chat so that we can go ahead and fill it. It's a little form to get our feedbacks. Just tap the hand raise, and you just can take the floor. I'm sharing the survey. Go ahead. You can fill the survey. That will help us get some input. And let's understand that it's a new event that will be hosting once a month. The Organizational Department Development Organizational Development Department of AIESEC Alumni Mayor, and we have opportunity to just share through alumni talks. Anybody has the floor? Anybody wants to have the floor can go ahead. The floor is open. Just raise your hand and go ahead.
Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Patrick, go ahead. You have the floor. Patrick, you have the floor.
All right. Thank you. I must say this is a very good session. Thank you for coming up with it. I want to ask about, you see, we are talking a lot about the new normal and how leadership is going to fare in these times. I want to ask if in a setting for people who have been in the public or private sector where you are not on the top, that means you're not necessarily on the table where the final decisions are made, but you have ideas down here, but you know sometimes there's a lot of bureaucracy getting things through to the top. How would you advise if someone has innovations or you have ideas that you think should make a positive contribution, but you are not up there and you really need to push your voice or your ideas to go through to the top so that decisions can be made? How would you push for that in this kind of setting?
First of all, what I always give as advice, in your growth, you don't spontaneously find yourself at the top. But what is important is you brighten the corner where you are. Any position you occupy, no matter how small, do your best to deliver. Any opportunity that opens or comes your way, maximize that opportunity to provide a good impression and give good feedback, and also build a sense of positivity. You getting to the top, generally, you go through a process. As you go through that process, make sure that you open yourself to the right learning opportunities. All the frustrating situations you go through represent for you learning opportunities. One day, surely you end up at the top. When you think that you are not able to make progress, it's time for you to quit, get yourself to an organization that expresses or tallies better with your values. Make that decision. But the key thing is brighten the corner where you are. Don't wait till you reach that envisaged or dream top before you make a change, because change is a gradual process. Leadership and growth is also a gradual process. Remember that. We are not born at the top. We grow to get to the top. Even when it's a startup that you launch. Calling yourself a CEO or MD is not an issue. Building your organization is the actual process. So every step of the way, build yourself up, build your environment, ripen your environment, and make your environment ripe for effective and long-lasting change. That is what the key thing is. Because sometimes we think that is when we get to that envisaged top that we can change things. But sometimes people we come across on a daily basis give even greater feedback to who we are and who we deserve to be, where we deserve to be than anything else before we even get to the top. Hope we're together about Patrick.
Thanks, Adonis. I just wanted you to tackle this angle where, for example, I'm in a company or I'm in an organization, and I have an idea or I'm thinking of something that should work and create a better change in regards to the current situation or the current problem we are having in that environment. But I want to push the idea up so that it can come through. Probably I have a conviction that this can work. Or I've, like if you've been through AIESEC and you know how certain things work, then you come into the corporate world and you want you have an experience that you refer to, and you are sure if we do it that way, because I saw it working in AIESEC, it can work here. But since it's not the norm in that organization and you're not up there, I don't know if you get my view. That
is
how
my
do I
point.
then push?
See, it's not one idea. It's not just one miraculous idea that changes an organization. It processes, habits, and consistency that change organization. Now, when even you mention AIESEC as an example, even in AIESEC, remember one thing: the member who just joined AIESEC will not have the same clout as the LCP. The LCP will be having greater access to the MCP to change anything in the organization, not the new members. Remember that. So even there, you build a process of building trust with the organization. People who are not at the top may deal with people who can easily reach the top. And those feedback sessions, those interaction sessions are opportunities. But don't build your entire organizational engagement on one idea that you're not able to push. Because meanwhile, whilst you're not able to push the organization, there are things you can be able to do. There are people you can meet, they can provide the right feedback to. And when you have greater opportunities, you maximize them. The new coming members, the newcomer in AIESEC doesn't have the same clout as the one on the MC board. So at the end of the day, he has a learning process that enables him, when he has that opportunity, to change things. That is why I'm looking at a gradual process. Sometimes we think that we are so fresh in our organization, we have the best ideas in the world, but hey, sometimes opening ourselves to the right learning of the environment to enable ourselves being the catalyst of change is even more important. Are you with me?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So we have 10 more minutes to go. I've shared the link twice. So please take the survey. That will enable us to get some feedback on the session and also improve upon the session. So, anybody wants to the floor?
Hello.
Yes.
Good evening.
Okay, Raphael, go ahead. Raphael.
Okay, can the admin mute the person who is making some noise there? Okay, good evening.
You have been mute.
Yeah, because I had to mute everyone.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, I had to mute everyone. Yeah.
Good evening, hey AIESEC, good evening, dear alumni, and I'm glad to join you here. Sorry to join a bit late. We are just finishing AIESEC Alumni Middle East and Africa Employability Booster training for today. Wonderful initiative by VP Clotaire, Adonis, the assistant, and all the team. I will just ask the question of the leadership for young members of communities, like for example, in our countries. We have been seeing in the past 10 years how the Arab Spring has been initiated by young people in a rather non-conventional way to reestablish some balance on how the executive is serving the country somehow. And 10 years later, we have seen how things have been. The expected change did not happen the way the initiator of those revolutions wanted it to. So what is the right approach, or what is the approach with your expertise that you suggest to young people who are eager for change in their organization or their community or their countries to go around, so that they are not either in the situation with the Arab Spring, where 10 years later they still didn't get the change they were expecting, or they are not in a situation where they have just given up and looking at things getting worse and worse. So what would you suggest? Thank you.
From the things I've run through, what I've shared, basically, it is basically the level of knowledge that is opportune for us. The opportunities that we have to acquire knowledge this age are greater than before. First of all, I want to believe that the challenge for the youth today, before thinking of change, is about self-change. Before thinking of leadership, is self-leadership. Building and adding value to ourselves on a daily basis will make us stronger in the face of adversity and in the face of opportunities to actually effect change. Building community capacity building, engaging in training and delivering leadership to others at the lowest level possible is even more important, because at the end of the day, we have permitted or our style of leadership, our approach to leadership, our solution-oriented leadership has permitted all the fabrics, all the spheres of social life. Remember one thing, we are aware of certain things. Where we live, the world we have traveled, the exposure we have had, gives us an opportunity that makes us privileged people. Now, how do we ensure that our level of knowledge, our motivation is shared to others? This is what will make our countries better. Changing our countries and communities is one person at a time, one step of the way on a daily basis. This is the key problem is people have allowed countries to be run for years to the point where they are saturated, where they've had enough. When we who have had opportunities, both leaders in governance, leaders in any economic or social life, provide a little change at a time on a daily basis. This is my thinking. This is what we have under our control. Let's not think about being in cabinet, being in parliament or whatever for now, because we will end up there having an understanding of our society. At the time Barack Obama became a senator in 2004, he had been a community organizer for years. He had been in state legislature for years. But you see, all the things he did from the moment he finished law school, didn't get a six-figure salary, but got to the community organizing environment. All that amounted to his capacity to be a good leader. Remember that every step of the way, we meet people who should impact them. So it's time for us to summarize. On behalf of Clotaire, the VP Organizational Development, and myself, and the entire team within AIESEC Alumni in Africa, we have a 1 month event that is Alumni Talk, where we share different topics. You can get in touch with Clotaire or myself to be a registered speaker, and please fill the form I've just sent on the chat. It's a great pleasure, and I hope that this event that you have shown great interest in will continue. We thank you for the great attendance.
Adonis,
yes, my boss.
sorry,
Yes, go ahead.
Before I go, I have 5 minutes to enter my talk. Otherwise, I will be fired. So,
go ahead.
This experience is open to everyone that have a topic to share, a relevant topic that is addressing an issue, an opportunity, or to share his experience. So it's to inspire people. So, or contact us offline, and then we will send you the link to fill. It's not an application. It's just to fill and confirm us that you can deliver an alumni talk on this specific topic and this time during the week, and then we will try to schedule. As much as we have speakers, then we will organize specific sessions, you know. So this is just what I wanted to say before going. So thank you, guys. Adonis, continue, close.
Thanks, Clotaire. It's a great opportunity just for all of us. The website is there. You can fill of course, the form that is a survey, just for us to know what should be done better and get a general feedback from you. So the next event will be the last weekend of February. So once a month to have an event. So on this note, awesome. I think I'm about to close, and I thank all of you for the great participation. Take care, and of course, we are meeting very, very, very soon again. It's a great
Take care. Stay safe, everybody. Bye bye.
Stay safe.
Thank
Stay
you.
Safe.
Bye bye.
Pleasure.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Adonis, and thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Alberto.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
AIESEC Alumni, Middle East and Africa, you are doing great.
Thanks, Alberto. Thanks, Alberto.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Kwame.
Hey.
Asum, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you?
Great. It's a pleasure.
Congratulations. Yeah, the topic was great.
Thanks. So hope to communicate more, and let's get in touch.
Yeah, sure.
I've sent the survey. You can fill the survey so that you can have more feedback. Just one last time, I'm going to share the the survey form, the link to the survey, and then just start rolling. It's a pleasure again.
So you take care. Bye bye.
Take care, Kasum. All the best.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, this one.
Yes, sir. What's up?
Good. Yourself?
Great. I'm good.
Yeah. These are challenging times, with challenging.
Exactly. We need to redefine our life.
It's true.
Yeah, but challenges and come with opportunities, of course. That's the thing.
Yeah, I see a lot of people getting jobs, working from home.
Yeah.
Doing orientation, everything. So they just ship you your laptop and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I'm wondering how it's going to affect in terms of social interaction, though. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. When we feel safe, we'll interact with people. That's what I can say. When we feel safe. But for now, let's get things going,
Sure. We just have to find a way out because life must go on.
Definitely. Okay, all the best, and let's keep it.
You too, man. We'll
Take care.
chat time later. Yeah.